Okay, I've got kind of a nasty little hole poked into this hollow interior door, and as you can see, it's in kind of a bad spot there. It's on the actual molding portion of the door as well, and I'm not gonna discard this door because I think I can still fill it and repair it. So what I'm going to do is actually wad up a piece of paper and wedge it down inside that hole and kind of below it, so that with my expandable gap filler that I'm going to use, in case it doesn't adhere to it as well as I'd like, it would prevent it from falling down in there. But I'm going to use that to start with, and then switch over to a spackling and smooth it all out, and I'll try to catch you up as I go. Taking just a piece of typing paper and or copy paper, and I wadded it up and stuck it in there in the hole, and I'm going to push it down to where it's right there, hoping that that will catch the expandable gap filler and kind of keep it up near that hole as it expands. This actually looks like it's working pretty good. I'm going to spray it in there and try to fill this hole, and it'll expand. You don't want to go too much stuff in there because it will expand. And so I'm going to lay that down as it does its thing, and we'll come back and let that dry, and then we'll kind of shape it or cut it off, and then use the spackling to smooth it out. Well, let's check and see how this expandable sealant turned out. Wow, it really did expand, which is good, and that means it's well into that hole. So the next step is to trim that, and then we'll put on some spackling. That trimmed up really nice. Next, what I'm going to do is put down the spackling with that plastic scraper, and I'm going to use that nail to kind of form some ridges so that they'll match the existing ones, and then we'll let that dry probably for 24 hours, and then I'll paint this whole door and it'll look brand new. My nail idea really didn't work quite as well as I thought it would, so I think what I'm going to do is let that spackling dry, and when it dries it'll turn white, and I may sand it to get those ridges in there, or I might just see what it looks like after it's painted. I think that once it's painted and sanded, or sanded and then painted, it may look okay. It'll certainly be a whole lot easier and better than buying a new door and hanging it. Well, I've come up with another probably a harebrained idea, but I want to conquer getting these ridges at least somewhat in there. So I've duct taped some hanger wire, and then I'm going to re-spackle it again and let it dry, and then pull those out, and then I'll be able to sand it, and hopefully it will look a little bit like that, but we'll see. Actually, this may have a shot at working. That should dry pretty good, and I'll pull those hangers out and sand it, and we'll see what it looks like. Now, if you're wondering, the reason this door is all scratched up and how the hole got in there, it's because a jewelry armoire fell over onto the door. Now it's been about 24 hours and it's actually dry and ready for me to sand it, and I'm going to leave the wires in and sand it and then carefully pull the wires out. Okay, well, that experiment didn't quite work as well as I wanted to. It did kind of end up doing okay down in here, and this is perfect, of course. That'll paint right over and look good. This is just markings for where the paint was scraped off, so that'll be okay up there. But I want to fill this gap a little bit more, so I'm going to have to use a little bit more spackling and see if I can't fill that in a little bit more. So gosh darn it, I'll probably have to paint tomorrow. That's going to be smooth there where the pink is, but in the grand scheme of the door, I think once this gets all painted, that you won't even notice that area. So I think it'll be good. Okay, I would say that turned out pretty good. I mean, if you really stare at it, you can kind of tell that it's there, but overall, I don't think it's going to be noticeable. So there you go.